7 catastrophic mistakes, 7 things we've all done and we'd like them to have us. One, that did not have to be done. 7 big mistakes that can come to condemn. Accounts or can get you unmotivated from the game and literally abandon it. Leave Genshin. Because you don't have anything to do anymore, you don't feel like it, or you see too much trouble in something. Today, we're going to see the 7 big problems that all players have of Genshin, and that surely many of them affect you. Leave a good like, a good ultimately. Subscribe, leave a good comment. Thanks for enjoying the video and the channel. Thanks for all the love and support. You know it's totally free. It doesn't cost anything, it helps a lot. Recommends and positions the channel, thank you. In which I stare at your eyes and camera and give you like. You subscribe to bell. Thank you from the channel team, and we're going with these 7 bugs. Every one of you that touches, if ever in your history of Genshin you have, and if it's the 7, play the 7. I've made several of these as well. First, and let's start with something simple, but it spends a lot of resources raising talents. Of characters that talent does not serve, that does not help, and that does not contribute anything. Obviously here reference directly to the normal attack of Shogun Raiden. Many and many, both out of affection on one side. As for ignorance by another, they have raised Raiden's normal attack and spent one amount of unhealthy resources. Another point in this video will be related to resources, but here I think you all feel identified because not just with Raiden anymore. As an example, and there's some time when nothing happens to raise Raiden's normal attack talent. For love, for pleasure, for the Triple Crown, for consenting to the Queen. But there is a point at which, if you do this, and most players have gone through that resource shortage point, still leaving our accounts ready, it hurts you a lot. Also, skills like the Tai. Ulti official, where the greatest source of damage lies in his elementary ability, the ulti of Albedo. The normal attack of Ayato, to give another example, and thus a long succession of skills of cells. Many characters of the game that also do not help as much as, for example, the elementary ability of Alekino, who brings you nothing, and a lot of people have come up, leave me in the comments. How many points do you have in Alekino's elementary ability? Friends, climb skills in 1 point. You can do whatever you want and waste them. But at 1 point, where you're still wanting to build some other character, well, you're still with him. Mini, I don't get anything good, my character isn't as good as I want. It's a big mistake because taking it around 7 or 8 consumes weekly voice material that usually cost, even solvent if you don't come out the one you want, and a lot of unhealthy mora. Next point, upload things in general bad way, and here we evolve the previous point. I think it's happened to you all that you felt the resource cassette, and here's an Easter egg in A. I greet the people of directs because this we were just talking about, because I was going to record this video long before with the 7 mistakes of a list, and talking on stream with people I realized that you should include this error that I had not included in the list, and improve the account much more. Summary of things you don't need. It happens to a lot of people who at that time, that you're in short supply, that we've all gone through it, you're going through too many characters. You go up too many talents, you go up too many weapons, and above all the easiest way to exhaust the Blackberry. And that you disappear is to upload artifacts. So here comes this big mistake, and that's that you don't have to go up everything crazy but synthesized. You have to be extremely selective when selecting 1 gun for every character you use, and not 80,000 gun. 8 characters, 2 teams at the start, and focus a lot on those characters and teams, and then already a 9th, a 10th, an 11th, but until you finish building the 9th in a very, well, at least it works minimally, it won't go for the next one. And the artifacts are the same. Several videos on the artifact channel, in fact many updated with less than 5 months. You can find them on the channel, and basically you have to be extremely selective. Because if you're going to upload everything crazy, including artifacts, guns, characters, and all the rest of things including talents, you will always be left with a shortage of resources. Comments. How many and how many do you feel like Jongli or Monona, Blackberry? Or how many and how many? You feel that the daily resin is ridiculous and never ever enough to build everything. What do you want? And how do you compare if you feel not so well with people that it turns out that you do feel? This is wasting them. Next point. The gun banner. It's not a good point. I've said this in other videos. It's true that the gun banner is a trap. This era is much more specific. How many and how many do you not have a weapon in your inventory that you don't even have up to level 1, or that you've come to my stream or 2 streams of other creators to ask? Moalani's weapon, to whom does Moalani's weapon serve? Kinnich's gun is served by Kinnich's gun because you throw in the mower's light. Or the same with Kiori or Yelonen's gun. This has happened to you, and it's happened to me once, to all of us, forever having it. The temptation to say, good, I throw here a pity to see if I pull out the weapon I want and help me a character and takes it to heaven, but then it turns out it doesn't give enough to secure the air. Now they've changed the divine path and it's a little easier to get weapons, but to see 2 menaces. It was impossible with the 3-fold divine path, and you all have a weapon that you don't know who to use. That maybe you have without going up. That is quite bad. A donut of Kokomi, a weapon of Baishu, and no. You know who to put it on and ask the creators, and we say no. Trophy to remind you that if you can't secure the weapon you need, or don't serve both weapons of the day. Banner of weapons, although the divine path is a little better, it is being a bit trapped. Next, catastrophic error of a Genshin player. Every time you have 160 proto-gamers, this is already a meme in the community, and many of you'll say if I'm caught, and this throwing away every time you have 160 proto-gamers is actually a trait. Serious things I deal with in other videos. Today I'm going to try to put more humor in the video and untie it. A little more than say a motivational talk like I do in other videos, but I know every time I say these things you like the message of at least remembering and raising awareness that you are playing healthily. But the point with the mistake this is that there are a lot of people, and once you have 160 proto-gamers, throws him the banner, doesn't have a plan, has nothing studied, doesn't know he's coming. The next banner and plays like a headless chicken plays nonsense here, ideal for a plan, and literally and metaphorically, even if it is very chance to assure a character do. 160 desires, not 160 proto-gamers, and what costs a desire? But 160 desires, and I would recommend that always, especially when more free to play, you have a small mattress for. To make plans about what will come, to structure it and make a realistic expectation of what it's 760 hours like you're a Banner Joan, and every time you have 160 there's a dose. I wish that's pretty ugly and pretty bad. Next mistake, not to do things for laziness. And I am talking about dating the housing exploration, but here I contrast because I do things for laziness. Sometimes a lot of text, and it is true that, and I understand it myself, I have done these things. The problem with not doing things out of laziness is that you do them out of anxiety. When a banner arrives, when NATLAN was announced, neither the people's hype exploded, it began. The whole Genshin community to do ancient legendary missions, to remove protogammas, to finish exploration, to finish appointments by the touch of having things completed. Or when a character who lacks protogams will arrive, you do anything desperate, like including the housing I repeat and remember in many videos that gives many protogamers. Make the sets and put the characters, and now they have put quality of life, so that make it easier to do all this. And the problem is that the problem isn't not to do things. The problem is not to do things for laziness. And then stick a trace of things you don't like in a bad way just because it comes in. A character that you like a lot, you're gonna get away and you have no desires and you get to play. This creates a problem that I explained in other videos, and again, I'm not going into technicalities, I'm not going into motivational talk, but number 1, do things, let's say, when he plays little by little and you don't burn and you make him feel a little bit like it, of wave and motivation, and do them all to the rough and to lure, you will generate rejection. The more I explore just because a character you like comes along, less you're going to like to explore in a normal way without depending on an incentive. a carrot-y. To have to chase her, dopamine facilitates the game. And this is a problem. If even when a character arrives that you like and gives you anxiety because you have no desires, you're going to start doing what you don't like, it's better, as I said in other videos, to go patiently and down, to do things you don't like, but with a little constancy, even if you don't touch. At least you know the wishes you have. You also take off the theme of playing for dopamine, anxiety, impulsivity, and practices that lead you to a single path that is not very good. Next point. The big mistake, catastrophic of Genshin's players. I think it's 6 already, and the next we're done, it's death. Yes, friends, that's a mistake. It's Genshin's great pandemic, and there are still people who are offended or who become populist in comments. Social media to say, throw whatever you like, do whatever you want. Matisse like they. Previous points in this video, there is a point in the accounts that not everyone still has. And, of course, the people who are starting their adventure and their experience in Genshin don't have. That is the point where you already have everything perfect. All the challenges of the game, a great knowledge. Already amount of resources and power in your account to pass any kind of challenge that you do would allow you to climb Raiden's basics or throw for whatever you like and do another kind of internship. Well, it doesn't help you very much. The problem with the pull for what you like is that Genshin does have an economy of scarcity, so that you always feel that you need resources that you don't have, always. You feel the impulsiveness of maybe throwing money you always feel like you're on the verge of getting things and don't get it, and all people in early, mid, and the principle of late is a literally to ruin accounts to tell him pull for whatever you like, because it's true that there are the 4 gypsies of the 4-star apocalypse, but cookie can't get free in the store and gaming can also not get free in the store, with which Xiangling Xing Ji Bennett. Okay, but it's 3 characters at least, 8 at least you need. And then it's true that what you like it usually coincides with the strongest, is to say the strip, so you like it if you like it. That everyone Novile, Alikino, Kazuha, Xilonen, Furina, and Nahida are the best characters of the game, okay, is a nice coincidence because they have made a good marketing plan. But if you tell a person who's starting at Genshin pulls for what you like and has a team full of, for example, an Albedo, but without playing Navia, Ito because they don't like it. He's got a Seiji win, he's got a Dihaya, and he's got the things he likes, and it turns out they don't make sense. That they do not fit, that they do not make any kind of synergy that cannot solve them, and that has spent a year's resources to have 5 or 6 characters who don't solve anything is a person who is going to take a very bad experience in the game who is going to compare what social networks are like with people who do with little resources. Crazy things, and you're going to think that basically that person is going to feel bad because maybe he doesn't know. No. You understand there's no way, or even worse, it's going to get to the point where you're going to say no to these people. They do that because they are whales, which is a very stupid and very old argument in Genshin Impact. When frustrated people who don't get certain potentials just do a disclaimer of a responsibility by saying it is not that these people do these things because they are whales, but when I pass the abyss full 4 stars with weapons 4 stars there, no one can say anything but there they don't come to tell me, and no forgiveness was right. You did all full 4 stars thing is that the internet is like this, and that it is a very bad advice to say to someone pulls for what you like until there's not a great knowledge and a great experience about that decision to throw away for what you like is the worst advice that can be given, and still being given is not thrown away for what you like, is thrown away. A balance between what helps you, what benefits you in the account, what will improve your experience game so you don't get frustrated and end up feeling that it's useless for your account or your characters, and you come to a point where you literally have an overstatement of resources, and at that point you already do. That you can do whatever you want because you already have experience and knowledge to waste. All but the pull for what you like is the worst mistake of the Genshin players, and let's go with the last mistake, which is a little more summarized but seems to me even worse than the previous one. This last catastrophic era is here, I'm going to point out, and maybe I'll get half of it. The people you're watching this video is having several Genshin accounts, or worse yet, play several porridges. Explain to me, because here already what you have said is messing with half community. Reality is that a porridge requires time. Some porridge like Genshin. There are points at which really you make daily resin in a loop and you leave, but today NATLAN are slowly getting more and more content, and really people from to resin and going, a very old people get to a late point. Let's say in 3 different accounts of different porridge or Genshin right now may require you a little bit of time, and you can combine those with daily resin and you leave, but all the time you've previously invested in these 3 porridges. It's a valuable time that wasted your life in general, and you can't deny that there has been an enormous amount of time that has taken away from you there. Number 1 stuff. Number 2 is crazy. And I, as a content creator, can't even carry 2 accounts, and I would be at the point, because as the previous points, everything has exceptions. This point also has its exception. There are people who really could have more than 1 account of a gacha, or play several porridges like many creators, because they can get profitability from that time, and turning your leisure into a work becomes constructive, becomes productive, and becomes a contribution to the entertainment society or teachings in the guides of the game. But the most mortals who don't make profit from that time they're wasting aren't in a situation where you really deserve to spend all that time of your life on a gacha, and you know deep down that at this point I'm right only if you've really worked and you've had enough success in your life to get over you, and you deserve that. Rest time would be worth it to play more than 2 or 3 porridges, or if you give him an incredible fortune and you've decided in your life not to work again, because for whatever life is, you've got it resolved. But most people who are watching this video for entertainment are people that you are still struggling to solve your life, that of your family, and the truth is a future. And if you fight for a success and play more than 1 gacha, if it is not a way in which you bring something to the world or make that for you an economic reward, is not profitable to play anymore of 1 account or play more than 1 gacha. And I repeat it again, I say that I have not been able to carry I myself 2 bills, and help me with my secondary account, a very old person from the channel. A mod from here, a greeting to Isaac, and thank you very much. I insulted me also, because it is impossible to me make the content of 2 accounts, and that I work a lot and I still get all days 5 or more hours of stream, and still I can't keep 2 accounts. So the mistake most gigantic catastrophic gaming players have is to have more than 1 account, or more of a gacha, with many circumstances and of course many exceptions, but value really the situation. And if it's not vice, and it's really something further than just playing 2 or 3 accounts, just a little bit more left to good, like good Bennett utility, to subscribe you, to leave a comment for algorithms, sure that this video has loved you, and sure that it has made you at least be a little better human being and be a little better player at Genshin Impact or some gacha. In general, take care of yourself, have a very good day, and bye.